the NRA.
I know. It's in Alaska. There's bears and wolves in Alaska.
Do you know that there's like 3 guns per person in Alaska? That's like 3 times the national average. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, it is fantastic.
They also have a big alcohol problem there, too, and crime and some other stuff. Anyway, the guns. Lots of guns. That's good.
Teddy Kennedy visits there a lot, doesn't he?
I don't know. He's trying to freeze off that tumor or something.
I don't know. I know Eskimos make damn good moonshine. I do.
Anyway, I think it's an interesting choice. I think, without a doubt, the number one reason that she got tapped is obviously to go after the disenfranchised Clinton voters.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But next to that, and yes, it should have been Romney. And I like Romney. You don't like him, but you still say it should have been him. I do like him, and I'm disappointed that it's not him. But that's all right. I think he's got a bright future in politics, Mr. Governor, whatever. He's doing fine on his own. He doesn't need me. But, yeah, I think it's an interesting choice. I like her. Everything I've seen about her, unfortunately, she's got this daughter situation, but other than that, and the little...
What experience has she had that qualifies her for vice presidency?
Okay, that's a great question.
I'm a great person.
That's a great question. Well, she was a member of the PTA, City Council. She was a mayor, a governor, and now she's running for vice president. She's got way more public service history than Barack Obama, who has 180 days in the Senate. He's Senate president, U.S. Senate for 2 years, and a year and a half of that he's been on the campaign trail.
The only thing that you did not mention is that she was a Girl Scout, and she was voted most popular in her 7th grade class. That's the only thing you didn't mention. Did you say the PTA?
Yeah.
You said the PTA?
Yes.
PTA means vice presidency to me.
But was always equal in my book, too.
Yeah, and no wonder Mitt Romney didn't get it. But
seriously, I think that, she really, the experience that she does have is in an executive role. Mayor and governor. Those are executive-style positions.
Of Alaska. You got Mitt Romney from Massachusetts.
Sure.
There's people there. There are people there in Massachusetts.
A few. Some crazy ones.
Yeah. Well, other than, like, bears and Eskimos and 17 people in Alaska, that's it. You don't have the type of situations.
There's plenty of problems.
Every place has problems, but not the kind of stuff that Mitt Romney has to deal with.
And they have the energy resources for this country. They've got ANWR. They got all the natural gas, all that other stuff, right? It's an interesting state.
Well, it is an interesting state.
And they get discounted. Now, I mean, it doesn't have the largest population.
What does it have to do with vice presidency?
What's it have to do with vice presidency?
Yeah.
She's got to come from one of the 50 states. What's wrong with Alaska?
I don't know, but they have
you're not happy with the number of people there.
No, that's
not Rhode Island.
Look, they have an awesome PTA. I'll give you that.
It's the smallest state. Alaska's the biggest state in the land area. Doesn't she get anything for that?
No.
That's a lot of square miles, buddy.
It is a lot of square miles, and that's a lot of brownies she has to make for her Girl Scout troop. But
do you know the coastline of Alaska is longer than the rest of the country put together, if you include all the Aleutian Islands?
Well, you've been talking to Elwood for nonsensical freaking trivia knowledge. I think that she's a bad choice for vice president, and I do know why, yes, they chose her to get the Hillary Clinton supporters. I do believe that. And I think she's a bad choice. I was listening to...
Based on experience, it should be Romney.
Yeah, and his qualifications. Not only his qualifications, but he has...
The private sector as well, like we talked about.
Yeah, I think that where his knowledge lies is for administration. He's somebody that knows how to make money. He knows how things operate. And it's not about making money, but he knows the intricate details of how to run a corporation, a large business. And that's what he's been able to do. And, that's something that I think that McCain needs in terms of someone who will be able to help him in the administration. And I just don't think this woman is going to do that. And I think it's going to backfire. I listened to the good old Savage show today, which I know you don't like. And he made an interesting point today saying that...
Yeah, I'm not a big... Michael Savage?
Michael Savage.
No, I do not like Michael Savage.
And I think that he makes an interesting point saying that if we want John McCain to be elected, and we want the Republicans in there...
Oh, that's who you were listening to when you said he's calling for her to step down.
Yeah.
Savage.
He called for her to step down. That's the only way for John McCain to be able to get elected.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. The situation with the daughter is so she's slightly lacking in qualifications, Look at who's on the Democratic ticket. And they can't attack her for that. All she has to do is say, Obama, present, case closed. And she's vying for the VP spot. The Democrats can't hold it against her. If you're looking at this in terms of McCain getting to the White House, right, they can't hold that against her. And who are Democrats to attack a teen pregnancy? They're handing out condoms all over the place, for crying out loud.
Well, I guess they didn't hand one to her boyfriend.
Apparently not. I guess they didn't make it to Alaska.
That's somebody take a bad condom. They make a bad condom, man. Sealskin, don't do it.
Anyways, I don't see how this is negative. Now, I saw some stuff on Drudge today and some of the other stuff about, she can't. The Democrats are going to keep going on and on about, what's her name, Bristol? Is that her name? Bristol's the daughter's name? The 17-year-old Bristol who's pregnant, unwed, and pregnant. Apparently, the boyfriend is supposed to be at the Republican National Convention right now as we speak. And we're missing it, but that's okay. We have TiVo. So he's supposed to be there. Who knows? They're planning to get married, the whole thing. The things happen, They're kids. That's part of the problem.
Kids having kids.
Yeah. But at least she's keeping it.
Well, at least? Mm-hmm. I mean, well, she should. I mean, you do things and there are consequences. And do you know that Sarah knew that there was complications with her last pregnancy? You know that her 5-month-old has Down syndrome? Yes.
She knew there was complications with that pregnancy. She knew before the baby was born that it was going to have problems.
I think that's not that big of a deal, because you should. I mean, you should go ahead with the pregnancy. I really do believe that. And I think that if it's going to risk the mother's life during birth, that's a different story. But that's kind of like, it's awesome. I'm 28 years old and I've never been in jail. I
live on my own.
I shouldn't go to jail. I mean, I haven't killed anybody either.
I have a driver's license.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So I don't really think that's something to commend her on. It's expected. So, but going back to this, what do you think it's going to hurt her? Do you think it's going to hurt McCain in the general election? So the numbers came out today. Obama broke 50%. Did you see that? The Gallup Daily Tracking poll, and it's been all over the place. Last week McCain was ahead. But today it came out, and it's 50. Obama's got 50, 44, 6 point. Yeah, I think it's going to hurt him. I do. I think it's going to hurt him, and it will.
I think if she pulls this out, if there aren't any more hiccups, if the scandal about the state trooper, do you know this? There's one more scandal with Miss Sarah Palin. Do you know about this?
Getting him off for
So there was her sister's ex-boyfriend is a state trooper in Alaska. And she asked an official in her administration to fire that state trooper. This is the accusation. To fire the state trooper when that official would not fire her sister's ex, who was a state trooper. When that official would not fire him, she fired the official to get somebody who would take care of him. That's the claim. And apparently she's hired a private attorney for the situation, too. Yeah. But you've got to know that McCain and his people are all over this stuff. And with all the choices that they have, somebody, a good friend of mine called me and he said, his statement was, "You're telling me there isn't anybody better? There's in the whole United States, 300 million people. You couldn't find somebody better than her." That was his claim, and he's got a valid point.